Hi, my name is Samantha Jackson. I'm a student physical therapist at Trine University. I'm doing a video presentation on ICD-10 and functional outcomes for therapy. So I'm going to kind of go over the ICD-10, G-codes, and then as well the MDS section GG version 3.0. So if you have I provided PowerPoint slides, so if you would like to follow along, please do. So the first thing, we're going to do an overview of the ICD-10. So this was created and managed by the World Health Organization and the CDC, so the Center of Health and Statistics within the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. The purpose of the ICD-10 was to further promote international comparability with the collection, the classification, the processing, and the presentation of health statistics. So the ICD-10 wasn't implemented until October 1st, 2015 in the United States. And then this had to be implemented by all entities using HIPAA. So, and they were required to make this change. So these include Medicare, Medicaid, and a lot of private health insurers. And then the big thing for ICD-10 is it's becoming more detailed, so it has improved granularity of codes, be more specific diagnosis, and more specific with symptoms, providing the best one that fits the patient and the service provided. So this is achieved by having a longer code. So before it was a maximum of 5, and now it's a maximum of 7, which you'll see on the very next slide. So that's an example of a 7-character code. ICD-10 you can code as anywhere from a 3-character code to a 7-character code. So the longer the code, it's usually more detailed, more specific to the patient. So G codes, this became law in 2013 for PTs, OTs, and speech therapists for Medicare outpatient therapist patients. So the G code recording has to be done at the first visit, the initial eval or reevaluation, the progress report, at discharge, and then if a patient completes the G code before their discharge, it'd be you have discharging the G code itself and then re-implementing a new one. So those are the 2 additional ones. And then G codes should be chosen based on the most appropriate determined by the therapist, the most clinically relevant and able to complete a good plan of care with, be one of the quickest and greatest changes or yield and change would be another G code, or what they would like is be the one that has the greatest priority for the patient as a big component. So making that part of their plan of care. There's 6 sets typically reported for physical therapists. 4 sets are for categorical function limitations, and then 2 sets are for other functional limitations. This we'll see on the next slide under a different graph or image, I guess. And then functional G codes, they contain both current, goal, and then additionally the discharge status. You will report these each time. And then reporting G codes, you have to have a severity monitor, which you'll see on the very next slide in the image. So this shows the 6 different sets that are often used by PTs, the different statuses, so current, goal, and discharge, and then the severity monitor, CH being 0% impaired, and then CN being 100% impaired during the outcome measure. The next is the minimal data set, version 3.0, section GG. So this was implemented by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid for a way to measure post-acute care using the continuity assessment recorded evaluation care tool. So this was started with the IMPACT Act, and now is just kind of being used in section GG to assess the patient's self-care items, which you'll see on the very right of this slide, and mobility items, and you determine what kind of assistance level they need, which you'll see at the very bottom right of this slide. And this is all required to be reported at the Prospective Payment Systems 5-day and the Prospective Payment Systems Part A discharge assessment for the patient in Medicare Part A. And all of this that's seen in the care tool is also used for their plan of care and their goals. So effects on physical therapy as a profession, and I'm going to kind of go into as an individual therapist. As a profession, it is the ICD-10 codes, the G codes, and the Section GG of the MDS are all key components in reimbursement, quality, utilization review, and other data management activities. So a big part of a lot of things. Each of these coding systems affect a lot of different parts of the healthcare system. So also direct access requires us to be more knowledgeable and understanding of ICD-10 because we don't have that referring physician to do that for us. To write a code already, we have to be able to be knowledgeable and put our own and what the service is for. And then being more thorough and efficient, you're going to have both of these as an individual and just as the therapy in a whole, because due to the increased documentation, you are going to have to have those. And then impacting the facility, you will have to, with the financial planning, there's going to be less of a financial burden to accommodate for the ICD-10 with the updating technologies. And then one thing you'll have to do is, if you don't understand it, there's going to be impact and slow down and hinder the cycle and postpone reimbursement, and fines and penalties is also a big thing. So decision making, a big part is policies and procedures to be put in place. The productivity standards, what will occur for physical therapists, do not hit those. Decisions on how the physical therapists document and coding should be reviewed. The rest is just reference.